Andrew Callaghan is the fella who makes Channel 5. Fantastic interviews on that channel. The content on that channel, in fact, has been one that lefties very much enjoy. I don't know where he stands myself, but I can make some inferences and assume that he is perhaps a leftist. Regardless, he's got some serious accusations. A woman accused him of coercing her into sexual intercourse. He has responded now in a way I find disappointing. And Vaush talked about it. I'd like us to look at what Vaush had to say. I also have some commentary to add, however, because I feel like the entirety of this situation is developing very much in the way we see this go over and over. And it leads to a misunderstanding of what the left wants. Let's get into it. And forgive the Vaush intro here.
Andrew Callaghan, host of the
Here
popular
we go.
YouTube show Channel 5 and recent HBO documentary This Place Rules, is reportedly devastated by the mounting allegations of sexual misconduct he's currently facing. In a statement to TMZ, also keep in mind that according to Ethan Klein, the only statement that he's made up to this point was that like 20 accusations came out against him, and his only message was like, yeah, I had encounters with them, with no denial attached, which, probably isn't how I would go about rebuking claims of sexual misconduct against me if they were totally bogus. But
If they were bogus.
In a statement to TMZ, the 25-year-old video journalist lawyer danced around claims that Callaghan pressured women into having sex with him. Okay, statement to TMZ. Okay, so it goes back to the TMZ thing. A legal rep for the journalist tells TMZ Andrew is devastated he is being accused of any type of physical or mental.
Quick side note. TMZ does surprisingly good reporting on this stuff. They deal with celebrities of all sorts. That sometimes includes politicians. And in this case, includes a prominent YouTuber / now HBO guy. They are made fun of often for their shady reporting, but the facts that they get are generally not wrong, and that's an important thing to understand. Sometimes it's inappropriate for them to air people's business. In this case, I don't believe so.
Coercion against anyone. Conversations about pressure and consent are extremely important, and Andrew wants to have these conversations so he can continue to learn and grow. Okay, that's not really a rebuttal.
Yeah.
Adding, while every dynamic is open to interpretation and proper communication is critical from all those involved, repeated requests for money should not be part of these conversations. For those unaware, Andrew got heat in TikTok after a woman named Caroline Elise recounted an alleged incident, post direct knowledge. A source with direct knowledge.
Okay, well, I just interrupted him. Here we go, though. So apparently this lady requested money from him beforehand. Do not jump to judgment here. Just hear it out.
Knowledge tells us Caroline requested money from Andrew, referencing the fat check he got from HBO for his documentary. She allegedly asked to be paid just minutes before the doc aired. We're told Andrew didn't pay up, and Caroline uploaded the TikTok a few days later, urging others to come forward, which is exactly what happened. So she asked for money, basically, like you give me money or I'll come out with this. If that's the case, that is that blackmail or is that extortion? Which one of those two isn't? You shouldn't do that. The text asking for money was posted on the H3 sub.
I believe that's the same thing. Blackmail.
From the Channel 5 subreddit. A friend of Caroline posted the text of her asking Andrew for money. Here it is. I don't really want a response from you because I already know your skewed version of what happened the last time I saw you. I just want you to know that seeing friends of mine promote your new show, which I'm not discounting came with a lot of hard work, hurts me in ways I wish you could feel sometimes. Anyway, if HBO cuts you a fat check and you in any way feel like helping contribute to the massive amount of therapy bills I've accrued due to the night you coerced me and my resulting trauma, my Venmo is blank, thanks. Okay, that seems like... So, to be clear, I think this is bad behavior. However, the existence of this message doesn't really lend any support for or against the claims made, I don't think. That's not even extortion, though. Actually, technically, you're right. It's not. Because the message here doesn't say...
Okay. So this is a Vaush does long form videos. I left the link to the entirety of his breakdown of this situation in the description, as always. However, what he brought up there is what I want to jump on and examine. Whether it is or is not in line with the legal definition of blackmail or extortion or whatever. Yeah, she was trying to get money out of the guy. It's what she was trying to do in that message. That does not change the facts. Did he extort her for sex? Or rather, did he pressure her inappropriately for sex? He hasn't denied it. I can't say for sure if he did or not. I'm sure there will be a whole yada, yada, yada. But whether or not she herself did something shady later, it does not change the fact that Andrew Callaghan may have done this. If he did it, her behavior, in other words, doesn't change that. We can't only seek justice for crimes that happen to perfect victims. That's no different than when police gunned down a black guy who wasn't resisting in any way, and then say, but he has a criminal record. But we found drugs on him. So what? Doesn't change the core issue. So, what should Andrew Callaghan do? What should you do as a potential viewer of Channel 5? Let me show you an example, or tell you about an example of someone whose content I enjoy, and to this day I still watch, who was part of the Me Too movement, in fact. As in, on the wrong side of that. Dan Harmon. Dan Harmon is the creator of Community, and he is the creator, or he's the co-creator of Rick and Morty. I love both those. Those are very funny programs. He's also responsible for a podcast called Harmontown. I'm an avid listener of Harmontown, even though it's no longer in existence. But I listen to it all the time. And he, Dan Harmon, when he was making Community, sexually harassed a writer of his to the point where she had to leave the show because she couldn't be in that environment anymore. I can say that without fear of a lawsuit because Dan Harmon came out and said so on the podcast Harmontown. In fact, he did it in front of a live studio audience when he had the podcast. And he went into detail about what he did. He also went into detail about why it was wrong. He apologized profusely. The apology doesn't necessarily wipe away the harm he did. I can't answer that for the writer who had to leave that show, but it's the correct way to handle an accusation like this. I think Dan Harmon is one of the only people that understands why the left gets so riled up about this stuff, why people get so riled up about this stuff, and what it is that is being asked for. Have you ever read about the lives of the saints, you will find that even saints aren't saints. The left isn't asking everybody to be perfect. The left is simply asking for the powerful to be held to account, for the powerful not to be immune from responsibility because they are powerful. Whether they're powerful because they're popular or they're powerful because they are rich. All that is asked for is that these people be held responsible. In other words, when somebody's asking, should I still watch Channel 5? What they're asking is, should I still support this content creator knowing that he might use the power that my support of his content lends him to harm somebody else? Now, the twist is, with this being a lefty, he's advocating for positive things in our view. But is he going to use that to do something negative, to do the very thing so many people on the left are fed up with? The source of the Me Too movement, which, by the way, really kicked off after the election of President Trump, who has 27 credible allegations of abuse of women in one form or another. It's going to be determined by how Andrew Callaghan responds to this. Does he own up to it if it turns out he did do this thing? Again, it's early days in this. I am using this controversy to talk about a larger issue. And in full disclosure, I don't yet know if it's true or not. Doesn't look good. I'll say that. How he responds to it should be what determines whether or not you continue supporting the man's channel. Does he own up to it? And perhaps, equally as importantly, does he take steps to ensure, or rather to demonstrate, that his continued wealth and popularity will not lead to somebody else getting put in that position? So far, his response, in my opinion, has not demonstrated that. But I'll keep watching, and if there is a significant update that changes my opinion of that, I will let you know. But the left is not looking for saints, just people that take responsibility for their actions.